Dustin Cody here with John Williams from Hotspot Energy and Chilltrix, right? Is that what's the name of the company these days,
Yeah,
John?
yeah. Our sister company is Chiltrix.
Okay. And what do you do over there at Hotspot Energy?
Well, at Hotspot, I'm the CEO. I don't have much to do with the business or operations side. That's handled by our COO, who is a very skilled lady who's been with the company for over 15 years, and our CFO, who is also a CPA and MBA, and was also here from day one.
Okay.
But my main role is product development, engineering, and of course, supporting our sales and technical departments when they need help.
Nice. Yeah. So how did you get into this? Like, what was your background before? How did you go ahead and want to start this Hotspot Energy?
Yeah. So before Hotspot Energy, I was the COO at a solar manufacturing company. And I actually served as a CTO, but that wasn't my title. Before that, I worked in satellite communications where I did a lot of engineering and product development, and I was credited with developing the world's first VPN over satellite, which was ultimately approved by the US government and went into embassies and thousands of locations. But as to solar, that started around 2005, and it was a result of solar operations that I developed a strong interest in applying solar to heating and cooling systems, and also I became aware of alternatives to solar heating, such as waste heat recovery. And that led to starting a company that became Hotspot Energy LLC and later became Hotspot Energy Incorporated. And it was centered around waste heat recovery for water heating and pool heating, and then solar air conditioners and heat pumps were perfected during that time and became very important for us.
Okay. So you've been kind of like everywhere you go, you're kind of innovating a little bit at a time, and then you got into the solar, and then kind of moved into this realm.
Yeah, yeah. I like technology and I like to do things that people say can't be done or that are hard to do. There's no profit in doing easy stuff. So we look for difficult things to do, and that's what we try to focus on.
Yeah, I mean that makes a lot of sense. If it was easy, somebody would have done it, right?
Yeah.
Um, so in terms of like, you know, hotspot energies kind of domain. So reading through on the website, I was like, you know, I saw this waste heat capture and solar powered cooling. How did you decide that those two things made sense together, or was it more like individual, like these are interesting problems, let's just solve them both?
Um, well, Hotspot was kind of formed to, push the edge of what's possible. And I couldn't get the solar company I was with to embrace non-solar or borderline solar products that I was interested in. So we went in a different direction. And we mainly we're an R&D company. We produce and sell products because somebody has to pay the bills. But we're an R&D company at heart, and working with solar thermal for space heating, water heating, pool heating, that's kind of where it all started. And then, finding other ways to do it. And we learned that, heat recovery was a really strong option. We call it an alternative to alternative energy. And, heat recovery from an air conditioning system is a compelling way to heat water, heat a pool, heat a building. Maybe from air conditioning, it's not so much a source of heat for space heating, but certainly for pool heating, water heating. And it has a big side benefit because, recovering waste heat also increases the efficiency of the air conditioning system. As to the solar heat pumps, we learned that solar thermal and heat recovery could both be used to power absorption chillers. These are air conditioners that use heat to make cooling. It's counterintuitive, but some of the first air conditioners were made that way over 100 years ago. And so we did a lot of that. But those are very expensive projects that sometimes have a very difficult ROI. Sometimes the ROI is negative. So they were hard to sell, but still they were interesting and people bought them. And we became well known for solar cooling. And as we were getting a lot of, inquiries for solar air conditioning, we decided to find a more simple way to do it. So we wanted a direct PV powered solar air conditioner heat pump. And we figured out how to do it. And we started making them first for just solar DC. And then about 12 or 13 years ago, we released the AC/DC hybrid solar air conditioner heat pumps. We basically, invented that whole entire industry, that solar air conditioning space. Um, and so the hybrid air conditioners are really interesting. They can run directly on solar, they can run on normal power. Typically, they run on both. And so it uses all the solar that's available. And if there's an AC connection, it will pull in any extra power that's needed from the AC side. If there's no AC available, and let's say the sun goes behind a cloud, then it just slows down. So the customer has an option of connecting it to only solar or to solar and AC power. And obviously at night it runs fine just on AC power only. So that's kind of where we've been headed.
So that's how I actually landed to discover Hotspot Energy. Is I was looking for, has anybody made a solar powered or an air conditioner that kind of works based on solar directly instead of having to do these AC DC conversions all over the place. So it's very interesting to me, but who's kind of buying this stuff? Or I know you're mostly focused on R&D, but what kind of customers? Is it residential, commercial, people going off the grid?
Well, it's all of that. I mean, Hotspot sells to HVAC dealers, to solar contractors, to plumbing companies. We also sell directly to end users who find their own installers. It's mostly residential. And we do have some off-grid customers who find that our products make things possible that might not otherwise be possible or easy to do. But mostly, it's just regular customers who want to save money by augmenting their cooling or heating, or finding a free way to heat a pool or a free way to make domestic hot water. Or, maybe they just need a mini split, and this is a cool way to do it because it saves a lot of energy. And after the tax incentives, it doesn't cost any more than doing a regular mini split. So it's really a broad mix.
Yeah, for me, it was, as looking at rooftop solar here in the South, I'm looking at it and saying, wow, I really need this thing to run my HVAC. And if net metering isn't going to work out for me, I'd love to run the AC directly off of the solar, at least in part. And
Right.
it opens up kind of an opportunity there. I think it's pretty cool.
Well,
Um,
yeah. So you've got places where net metering is restricted or not allowed, like in Honolulu, you can't get it anymore. It's all
right.
filled up. You got places like Arizona where there's a $50 a month fee, and that probably is insignificant if you're putting in a huge solar system. But if you only want to start small with something, it's a loser. It's a money loser after you pay that fee. And so we give people a chance to do that. Even in places where net metering is allowed, they may cap you at 10 kilowatts or something like that. And this type of system doesn't count. You can put in solar air conditioning without being in any way involved with net metering.
You get to use your own power that you're generating, which is, I think that's pretty innovative. So I like that solution. You kind of alluded to the tax incentives. So have you seen impacts on your business with like Inflation Reduction Act or other kind of incentives, or is that kind of downstream from you guys?
Yeah, so yes and no. We do see impact from tax incentives because the way our system is designed, it falls into the ITC, which is not the IRA, but the ITC, it falls in there to get the full 30% tax credit, not only on the solar panels, but on the whole heat pump system. So the solar air conditioner and the solar panels and the installation all get a 30% credit. So by the time you do that, it ends up being like the solar piece of it's free. And so that helps a lot. As to the Inflation Reduction Act, there's some good incentives there that also will apply to solar air conditioners, but it requires Energy Star and AHRI ratings, both of which we have. But the program itself is very slow to get started. It's administered at the state level. It's a federal program administered at the state level, and most states don't even have it set up yet. So, not so much really, not yet.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. So that'll probably come a little later, but it's nice to know about the sort of ITC incentives still apply. Um,
Yeah.
the kind of is there any, so you said that you sell and HVAC installers can install your things. Is there other complements that you wish your like complementary businesses to yours that you wish would be built out to help kind of, I don't know, grease the wheels here on getting more of these out? Or is that pretty much in the landscape and now it's just kind of block and tackling?
I think, I mean, really, we do really well already.
Mhm.
I mean, we've had steady growth. Other than, improving and creating new products, I don't think we're not hoping for anything really to change. New products for us are the interesting part of all of this. So, like this year, we're going to launch a new type of solar pool pump, and it has implications for irrigation and other usage. And it was issued a U.S. patent this past summer. It's going to be a game changer.
Nice.
There's some other new things coming that I can't talk about just yet, but this is where our focus is. We're not a marketing company. We don't advertise. We've never advertised, and it's all been word of mouth. And the people that want the stuff we have, they find us somehow.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I found you, right? I wanted the stuff. Um,
Yeah.
so I mean, that's pretty interesting. So you don't feel like you're blocked up because the the products that you sell kind of already fit into the existing capabilities of the workforce, right? So somebody who can install a regular air conditioner can install a solar air conditioner, they can install a pool heater, they can install your stuff. Is that kind of the idea?
Well, that is the idea. Now there's a little bit of an exception to that too. As you know, we have a sister company called Chiltrix, and at Chiltrix, we make a new kind of a heat pump, new to the U.S. market anyway, called an air-to-water heat pump. So it's a popular product in Europe that we brought here 8 years ago. And, first we improved it substantially. We got some patents filed on it. It's officially certified in every possible way, and it has world record setting official performance numbers. It's a great seller. What's cool about it is it can do heating and cooling and domestic hot water, and it can work with duct systems or with ductless units or with radiant. It can also make hot water. Many customers use it to do all of these things, or many of them in the same home. In 2020, it received the Emerging Technology Award from Energy Star. And like I said, world records for efficiency. So it's a great product, and we're having a lot of fun with it. But I will tell you that the number one constraint of that product is installers. It's tough because The HVAC guys haven't seen it, don't know what it is. The plumbers haven't seen it, don't know what it is. Either skill set can be used to install it, but it's often difficult to get them. The training curve is not deep. It's the fear of the unknown curve that you're fighting. And a lot of these guys are, bread and butter type people. They aren't really looking for something new to do. So awareness of that product in the market is slowly growing. And if it's limited by anything, it's limited by awareness in the installer community. Um, that's and it's funny. We've got, I guess, around 600 of these that have been installed by homeowners. Okay, so it's not like it's difficult. It's the installation task is basic PEX waterline piping. But yeah, professionals are still slowly warming up to the idea of it. And so um, if there's anything I'd like to see more of, I'd like to see more awareness of air to water heat pumps in the plumbing and HVAC installer community. That
Okay.
seems like that's a gateway for us.
Yeah. No, and I think, my brother lives actually in London, and I think he just had something like this just installed. So maybe it has a little more popularity over there, like you mentioned.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah,
it's all they use over there because
yeah,
over there energy's always been expensive, and they've always focused on energy savings. Yeah, that
mhm.
whole concept is kind of new here, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Um, well, that's all the questions that I actually have. But is there anything that you'd like to add? You kind of mentioned a new product that was coming and some that you can't so much talk about, but anything that you want to add?
Well, Hotspot's going to release a new water heating product that's unlike anything that's in the market. It combines some features of a heat pump water heater along with a solar water heater and utilizes some of the hybrid technology of the AC/DC hybrid solar heat pumps. So it's going to be very interesting. There's a couple of little twists to it that I can't talk about, but so yeah, we're excited about that right now. We're going through this refrigerant transition where R410A is going away. And the new refrigerants are A2L and A3 refrigerants. They have, some flammability issues. Some of the other new high efficiency refrigerants have some toxicity issues. So we're doing something a little different with this, with a different kind of refrigerant. Actually, one that's already approved, but has just never been used for this purpose. And so it'll be interesting to see when it comes out. I think it's going to be really quite interesting. And then, like I said, the solar pool pump, you can read the patent. It's no secret. It's a game changer. So
That's
uh,
cool. Yeah.
it,
I mean, I'm looking forward to it. There's not a lot of places where you can go and read about or and learn about innovation in this area. So I like it a lot. Um, but I appreciate you taking the time.
my
And
pleasure.
yeah, and it was nice to meet you. And yeah, hopefully we'll talk again in the future.
Yeah, sounds great. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks, John.
Bye bye.